to Sarah's table. Pew, 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 pew. Finger guns. We are back from Gen Con. I took last week off. I needed a little break. I just needed a snooze. I was gonna be kind to myself. How are you? How are things?
Good. I'm tired. I'm very
Mm-hmm.
sleepy. It's early here, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what we're playing,
Yeah.
but I have dice
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and
Great.
coffee. Yeah.
Great. Love that. Hi everybody. My name is Sarah Moore. My pronouns are she, her. I'm going to be your host tonight and your facilitator and your favorite person. I'm going to remind you to please have some water because you're probably dehydrated. Good job, everybody. Um, Before I tell you what we're playing, I just want to point out, like, when I was trying to decide what I was going to wear, I was like this beautiful pink Yuzeba's bed and breakfast t-shirt. I was like, it was just calling to me from across the
Yeah.
room. It's by Possum Creek. Go buy it. It's amazing. The book is so beautiful. Just I can't wait to play this. Also, I needed a deck of cards for this game. And so I'm using the ones that came with my 5e Oz hack.
Those are
And
cool.
then they have like all the face cards have like characters on them from Oz. And then I also needed trinkets, and the game calls for up to 50 trinkets/tokens. And so I went and stole my partner's hero tokens from the Vanishing Lands. I just have a giant stack of them over here. Delightful. It's I was telling my partner about it and he was like, it's indie game day on Sarah's table. And I was like, it's always indie game day on Sarah's table.
That's
Um,
true.
but I'm like really repping it. Also, I feel like I did something irresponsible, but also perfectly on brand. And I really feel like we should talk about it for a second. Um,
Okay.
you know how I really like pink things? I know. Because you're shock based. Do you know how I really like glittery things? I maybe
Hmm.
backed that Kickstarter where it's like $100 for a giant liquid core D20 that's pink and sparkly inside.
Where will you put it? Will it get its own shelf behind you?
I want to use it all the time, but yes, I feel
Yeah.
like it needs to have. I'm in the process of figuring out what to do with my space, and I think it's going to have its own area. It's like this big. Like
You can
it's
get like a
like,
little backpack to carry it in.
oh my God. Yeah. I'm really excited about it. I just paid shipping and I don't know when it's going to be here, but it was like a lot of money to ship. It's very heavy. I can't, I cannot wait. Okay. Back to being focused. I'm focused. You don't know what we're playing today. No.
No.
Uh, it is called Eyes on the Prize, a fake marriage role-playing game.
Okay.
It is written by Ira Prince Vals. And here's the little intro. It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single troublemaker in possession of an absurd problem with no reasonable or realistic solutions must be in want of a made-up wife. Okay. In Eyes on the Prize, you are
Mhm.
troublemakers. Maybe you don't think you are. Maybe to you, your most unfortunate and ludicrous circumstances are no fault of your own. And it is only an additional misfortune that you've been driven to such lengths. But the fact of the matter is that when all is said and done, you need your situation upended so badly that you have ended up fake married about it. So it goes. Unfortunately for you, There is nothing more appealing to the rumor mongers and scandal hobbyists of court society than an unusual marriage. If the two of you want to have a chance to meet your goals, you'll have to play your parts and you'll have to play them immaculately. Get your shit done. Don't get caught. And absolutely, positively, do not fall in love for real. That would be so effing embarrassing. So, this is the game that we are playing today. Before we dive into it, I would like to do a quick safety discussion. I think that's very important. The responsible game master and player at the table and human being. Here on Sarah's table, you will never find sexual violence, violence against children, or withholding food as punishment or starvation. I also would like to add the caveat that if an animal is attacking you, you may attack back and defend yourself, but we do not kick the neighbor's dog. I feel like I know your lines pretty well because they are much further out than mine. But if we do run into something that you're like, uh-oh, this is surprise, not great, throw up that X or just tell me and we will adjust. And also let's introduce yourself and how you ended up here.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Damon Vanhee. My pronouns are he, him, and I opened an email that Sarah sent me that had a link to this Zoom meeting. And here I am.
Yeah. Yeah. I am gonna say that you opened it after I texted you about it.
Yeah. Yeah. You had sent it before and I didn't open it, and then it left my brain entirely.
Yeah.
And then I just sat in front of my computer this morning waiting for an email to arrive until I was late.
Yeah.
So
you know what? It was great.
I'm doing really good this morning.
We're doing so good. Especially because this game requires some mental acuity. And so we'll see.
Ooh, here we go.
See how good we do.
Gonna be really good at being fake married.
It's so good. So good at being fake married. All right. So the setup is pretty simple. We need 2 players. Here we are. You can also play this game with 2 couples who have entered the same like court season, but with different goals, and they are both fake married. In that scenario, there's some things that like affect each other, which that might be interesting. We'll see if maybe we want to fake marry some other people soon. We'll find out. We need 1 8-sided die per player. I've got mine. Do you have yours?
I have an 8.
We have an 8. We need the standard deck of playing cards, jokers removed. I have done that, and I've also shuffled them up real good while I was waiting for you to arrive.
You're welcome.
I had a lot of time to shuffle them up.
I was helping.
You sure were. And then I have all of these small tokens.
I don't need tokens or dice. Or sorry, cards. Correct. Just the die.
Correct. I will take care of the tokens and the cards. You can also play this game without the tokens and just like mark things down on a piece of paper, but like tokens are fun. I like tokens. That's good stuff. Okay. And we've already gone through our safety, but I do want to say that they have a little section here. It's not a super long game, but they do have a section on safety, and I really love seeing that whenever I am checking out a new game, that there's like a little like, hey, you should just make sure that everybody's cool with everything. Right. Let's do character creation. It shouldn't take too long.
Okay.
Right. I mean, and there's no rolling. It's literally just making a couple decisions. So we need an appearance and how they are addressed. Names, pronouns, titles, if they have any. And then describing their personality in a few words, and choose why they're currently unhappy, dissatisfied, or yearning. I'm going to give you an example. They list a couple. A slick, lighthearted con artist who expects to be caught, but just wants to enjoy the high life until then, and thinks an aristocrat on their arm would be the perfect cover. An absent-minded scion who wishes her parents would just get off her back about matchmaking so she can focus on her secret love for illegal carriage races. Sounds amazing.
Pretty good.
A tense, bitter court biographer who is tired of being overlooked and wishes he could stir things up enough to make his next book a nationwide sensation. So we just need to figure out who we are in the scenario. Also, all of the prompts are for characters that are hacking their way through shitty, opulent court life. And it has a note here that says, if you don't want them to be members of that kind of life, that's cool. You can tweak away, but like all of these prompts are for that. So like we would be adjusting prompts as we go. I'm fine with it staying in that sort of vein.
Yeah, me too.
You feel good about that? Cool.
Yeah.
So here's a good question. How did we end up in this court life? Are we born into it? Did we sneak our way in? Did we arrive for diplomatic duties?
No, I think it's faked. I think we are here for fake reasons. Perhaps there's fraudulent papers that got us in, something like that. Like there's a perhaps we have invented holdings and titles and things like that. And, and got it notarized by a crooked notary or whatever to get us in.
Just notarized it ourselves. Yeah, I mean, I think that it could definitely be the kind where like there was absolutely a time in history where you could just show up and be like, I am a duke of this land, and like if it's far enough away, probably nobody can tell you otherwise. Great. All right, so just gonna make my own little notes here. I think I mean, I think I'm a con artist. I don't think that I have any special, like, we haven't really talked about magic, but I don't think that this is a magic world. Like, you know, like, I don't think it's that sort of thing.
You think it's our world?
Okay, so what if it's a world where magic is, well, I guess it could be our world. I'm thinking specifically of like a Rasputin kind of character who like my particular con is that I'm like a seer and that I can like see the future and so I can give advice. Which is maybe if your con, when you were saying forged papers, like if you are some kind of nobility, maybe that's our.
Like you come in attached as like part of my retinue, or?
I mean, the whole conceit is that we're fake married. So like,
no,
maybe,
I know, but like
maybe that's how I found you. Yeah, like that's how we met, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And this is also maybe just because I've been watching, like binge watching Psych. But like it feels like like she's a psychic, but she's just like incredibly good at observation, kind of a thing. Yeah. But I don't know why I'm like, are we just stealing their stuff?
I think I already have written down pickpocket for myself.
Okay,
I think that is my driving force for being here, probably, is thievery.
Okay. I mean, I'm good with saying, okay, hold on. Maybe this court event, it's a ball or something,
Hmm.
but maybe there's something very, very fancy on display. Crown
Hmm.
jewels kind of fancy.
Hmm.
And
We're
we're
heisting.
we're just there to nick them. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
great. Cool. Do you have a character demeanor? That's a thing that we need, the personality.
Hmm. I think that he is probably too sure of himself and his capabilities and his skills.
Okay.
Personality wise, not necessarily arrogant, but when it comes to his his underhanded abilities, he thinks he's very good at what he does.
Just like
And maybe
blindingly
he is because
self-assured.
he's been lucky or fast or like quick to get away, perhaps.
Yeah.
But so
Or
far, very, very successful. I'm thinking a little bit of like a little Leonardo DiCaprio from Quick and the Dead.
okay.
Like a little just like obviously I'm the best at doing this.
I mean, weirdly, I went with Catch Me, or what is that one? Catch Me If You Can? Is that the one where he was the con
Yeah.
artist?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it's
yeah,
the all Leo power hour is what we're doing.
yeah. Great.
Great.
Cool. So you are very self-assured. Um, I think I like to lean into probably the mysterious, like maybe even
Hmm.
slightly spooky,
Hmm.
like, um, cool. And we're just gonna steal some stuff. Um, all right. Also, we're supposed to choose a reason why we are currently unhappy or dissatisfied
With the nobility.
in general. Could be with the
Oh, just in
nobility, but
general.
just like in
Yeah.
general. I mean, I think I have a big old chip on my shoulder.
Hmm.
Just because like I think that she sees the nobility as just like boring. Like they didn't earn any of
Hmm.
this, right? Like she's like, I have real skills that I should be getting paid for, and like they're just rolling around in their money for no.
Hmm.
So I think she's just like just gonna rob them blind if possible.
I think mine is much simpler than that. I think I'm just broke.
Great.
Yeah. I think I've just run through all of whatever nest egg I had from before. Um, and which was probably never very big. I feel like I'll get broke and then desperate and then steal a
And
bunch
then
of
do this.
stuff
Yeah.
and then high
And
life it for a little bit and then
it's a cycle.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I think that my name slash title is um ooh, I'm trying to think of something that would fit in a I mean, I think that she feels like she's really pulling one over on everybody because nobody in the nobility reads. So I think she goes by Cassandra because obviously, you know,
Hmm.
that's the classic seer.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and I think that her title is the visionary. Um, and then who are you? In I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be always. You're, who are you this time?
That's true. That's true. Um, I think let's go with trying to think of like a low nobility title,
Like a
like
viscount?
a viscount maybe. Yeah, like somebody that is fancy enough to get in, but not fancy enough to have to do anything once there.
Sure.
Um, Um, and then we will go with let's do Viscount Rutherford.
Okay. All right, so we have our people,
Mhm.
and now we have to create our partnership. Um, and there is a section of this that we cannot that we are not supposed to write down.
We just have to remember
We
it.
just have to remember it
Okay.
because that is the whole thing is that you're going in. So we can write down this first section. What does your character bring strategically to the fake marriage, and why do you think you need the other person? I think I am super perceptive.
Mhm.
Um, I also think that women are traditionally in this kind of a society sort of viewed as not terribly smart. And so I think that things will be said in front of her that would not be said in front of you. Um, yeah, that's what I, those are the things.
I think I've got, we kind of talked about it a little bit. I think I have the credentials to get us in, signet ring, stuff like that.
Also, probably a little bit more skill in the
And the actual thieving
thievery.
part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think she's the distraction.
Great.
And you are like the mechanical, like, I'm gonna steal this while you are like telling the future in this other side
Mhm.
of the room or whatever. All right. What is our plot? What are we trying to see? What are we stealing?
Is this the part we don't write down?
No, we're allowed to write this
Still
part
doing that
down.
part. Okay,
Yep.
great. I just recently was watching The Gilded Age,
Oh,
and so maybe it's something railroad related. Um,
interesting.
like land deeds, perhaps. You could like there's something in in a study, perhaps. Like
Hmm.
there's deeds to where the rail line is going to be going out. And if we can get our hands on ownership of the land before it is sold out, we can be the
I
ones who sell it.
I love that because then we could sell it or decide if we wanted to keep something, and then it would almost be like a legitimate claim for us
Hmm.
to have somewhere.
Hmm.
Okay, cool. Um, how do each of your individual desires combine to make one cohesive plan, or why do you both want the same thing? Like, why do we both want the land deeds? Or was it just because of what I just said? Like, because then
I
we can
think,
like,
yeah, I think you just said it. Hmm.
cool. So
Because then we can,
we
I
can
think we
sell them and
probably went
continue to
into
get
it.
rich and then keep one
Yeah,
so that it's
yeah.
ours. Great. Set us up for life in a way that we won't have to be like having to scramble when things run
Hmm.
out, even though I'm
Hmm.
sure we will continue to scramble when things run out. Why do we have to be fake married to pull this off?
I think if so, the papers that I got being a Viscount, I think
Yeah.
that I am of an age that not looking for a spouse would be drawing too much attention.
Oh,
So if I go in single, people would bother me.
it would, the thing about it would then be meet all of these eligible young ladies or eligible not so young ladies that we're hoping to marry off and get your title and your land.
Correct.
Got
Yeah.
it. Um, so, and probably for me in the same way, I am not looking for a husband. I don't want any
Hmm.
of that garbage. So like,
Hmm.
okay, visions aligned. Currently, what is our place in society? I feel like we maybe already covered this, that we're like definitely not any part of the nobility. Um, so do we want to be able to continue holding that position after all of this, or will this ruse be a turning point for you? With these land deeds, regardless of what we have done prior to, we'll sort of be nobility at that point. Or like,
I'm landowners at least,
yeah, at least on the same sort of level with money. We'd be like the new land owners,
Mhm.
like new money in a way that would probably cause other issues, but we would still have like much more standing in
Yeah,
society.
I think generally I'm fine with ditching it all on the like after getting the money, from
Great.
selling stuff or whatever. That's always going to be in my back pocket. That just like I can just sell it all and walk away. Like I don't
Yeah.
need anything.
Disappear,
But
become somebody else.
but the more that we talk about it, the more having a spot to come back to sounds kind of nice.
Um, that leads perfectly into this next question. What are you planning to do about the marriage once you've gotten what you need out of it? And does the other person know? Like, have you even
Hmm.
talked about it?
Hmm. No, I don't think
Haven't
I don't
talked
think
about
we've
it?
not in depth. I think I have some stuff in mind that like already kind of going in. Um, but I think that if this works and it looks like it's a viable method to rip people off, I wouldn't be opposed to revisiting,
Yeah.
you
So
know?
like creating either the same cover or other covers to continue to
Hmm.
scam.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I think her plan is to leave. She doesn't actually want to be
Hmm.
tied to anybody because the whole point of this is having enough money and potentially one of those land
Hmm.
deeds for herself to just like be legitimate enough that she doesn't have to be married. Maybe they will dissolve this partnership and then she'll just tell everybody that her husband died. She's not interested in
Sure.
like actually killing you, but like, oh no,
Right.
that
And that's
person
how you got the
died.
land.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, okay. And I don't think that she has told you that either.
Okay, great.
What happens if we fail? I mean, we probably go to prison, is my guess. If
Yeah,
they if
I think I've been to jail a lot.
Okay, great.
So I don't know that that necessarily is a deterrent for anything for me. Um, though I also think that this would probably be a bigger jail than what he's
Oh,
used to, but I doubt
absolutely.
that that really phases him. He's like, one jail is the same as any other jail. Like you can just get out,
Okay.
just bust yourself out, and you're
I
gone.
do feel like that this were because of the scale of what we are looking at, this is probably like Tower of London level
Hmm.
jail.
Yeah,
Um,
but you
okay.
don't think about that.
Sure, can't
You
can't
don't
think
let
about
those
that.
thoughts in. Yeah.
Um, what happens if we succeed?
Then we're rich.
Then we're
More
rich.
money. Yeah.
Great. What this is an important one. What happens if you fall in love along the way?
I mean, that's not going to happen.
Obviously not. That feels
That
like
would be fucking embarrassing.
oh, they got the F bomb. Nailed
Oh,
it. All right, half an hour in. We did it. Okay. There was our one. Yeah, it would be. I think this is obviously never gonna happen. We would definitely not. That would
yeah.
not happen.
Yeah.
Just not happen. Um, okay. Now this is the part that we cannot make notes about.
Okay. Bring my pencil down.
There are there are three pools that we are adding to, and they are affection, plot, and suspicion.
Okay.
And all of the card prompts will tell us whether we add to affection or plot or suspicion or subtract depending on like roles and stuff. And when any of those pools hit 10, then there's like it triggers a breaking point, which
Okay.
could trigger the end of the game or could like something else could happen. Um, so this next part is all about suspicion. And we have to build the falsehoods of our marriage, of what we're going to tell everyone about our
Okay.
marriage. But we are not allowed
Ooh.
to write them down because this is all about the con. This is about just remembering everything.
Okay.
So,
This is only my first cup of coffee today.
how did we meet?
Should make this not particularly complicated. Um, did you, okay, so you are leaning hard into the visionary as an identity
Yeah.
and all of this stuff. So I think we met when you told my fortune.
Oh, did you come to like a fair? Like what, or was this
Yeah.
like so, so we're going with that I was like conning you? No, because this is not a mm. I actually think what could be interesting is if you held the like I didn't believe in her power,
Mm. Hmm.
but she just knew too many things and
Hmm.
like because that lends legitimacy to my con.
It could have been at a fair, not you working it, but like just you
Oh,
being there,
being
because
there.
that already has sort of that air of like whimsy and stuff like that. So could have been a thing that was easy to strike up a conversation
Hmm.
because we were already in that sort of, situation.
Hmm. Hmm. Um, and how and why did we fall in love? To take it, is this like you added me essentially on your staff? Like you brought me on, you were impressed by what you found at in this initial meeting and brought me on.
Hmm.
Um, and it was like a slow over time you realized you didn't want to not
Like
see her
not have you
anymore.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Like I think that's interesting because it's not I feel the slower burn is easier to sell than the I saw her and just knew immediately. And, like I
Right.
feel like that is that way one is maybe harder to to sell.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so just like realized one morning. I
Mhm.
love that.
Yeah, I think
Um,
I think it could be a thing that it's like, and I mean this, I don't want to say things out loud because I'm then worried that I'm going to have to remember them later in the game.
yeah, you are.
Very bad. But it could have been something like small that like you just, and leaning into the what your power set is supposed to be for
Yeah.
this, it could have been a thing that like we were just getting lunch together and like you happened to prepare my coffee in the correct way and I
Mm,
had never told you that before,
mhm, mhm. Just like
like
something little,
just something little that like I hadn't told you, but you just knew what it was, and then that like started the
the transition.
note the transition. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. What is our shared plan for the future within
Well,
the the sham marriage and not
mhm.
within the actual hun?
I mean, we should probably have some kids, I
Hmm.
think,
Hmm.
to extend the Rutherford line. I don't believe that there are more Rutherfords. I think that it's just like down to me kind of thing.
Mm.
Um, so definitely
Right. I mean, we wouldn't want there to be other people that could be dug up, you know.
I don't want to have to answer any questions about a brother or something
Right.
like that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Probably
so
both of your parents are passed as well, and you are the last one.
correct.
And so like this is have at least one kid, probably a couple for safety.
Hmm.
Um,
Life expectancy is low. We'll have
Life
a bunch
expectancy is
just in
low.
case. Yeah.
I mean, making my life expectancy much lower. Thanks so much. But I think maybe also like that I would kind of retire then. Like
Mm.
now that we are
Hmm.
married, I don't actually do this anymore. I don't have to work anymore.
Hmm.
Right.
Hmm.
And so now sometimes it's just like a fun party trick. Like
Hmm.
people like it. And so the idea of probably like, once we are settled back at home, oh, you'll have to come out to
Right.
to the homestead. You'll have to come out so that we can like have a lovely party and like I'll tell everyone's fortune and that'll be like doling out little bits of that.
Hmm.
Great. All right. Don't write any of that down.
I didn't.
And it says here, these details will have to be remembered to the best of your ability as you role play the ways your couple navigates the suspicion that always threatens their plans. If something is forgotten or fumbled, you'll simply have to change or add on to the lies.
Great. Hopefully, we're near each other when that happens.
Okay, so I have set up our pile here. I just wrote affection, plot, and suspicion on a blank piece of paper. I have things here. I have my actual tokens that I can put in and move things around. Um, let's say that we end up with negatives and it would drop us below 0. So negative affection becomes suspicion. So
Hmm.
if it's like -1 affection, that goes over to suspicion. Um, Negative suspicion becomes plot, and negative plot becomes affection.
Okay.
Um, Negative affection, you're doing so poorly at projecting a view of married bliss that it's raising serious questions. Negative suspicion, your ruse is going swimmingly. The time and energy that would have been consumed juggling nosy questions about your marriage can instead be spent on your shared machinations. Or negative plot, the longer it takes to move things forward, the more time you're spending with each other. And if you are not careful, all this waffling around might turn into distraction of a more amorous kind. Careful. All right. Great. Here we go. We've got everybody.
Okay.
Sandra and Viscount Rutherford. But Rutherford, I'm assuming, is your last name. I would not call
Yes.
you Viscount. What is the first name you're going with?
Great. I have no idea. Let's do um uh I don't know. Let's do Leo, I guess, because I mentioned
Leo.
that earlier. Let's do Leo.
Leo.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, Here is a very important thing. Very important rule. It is bolded and capped. It is big. If your partner player's response to a prompt or challenge makes you fall more in love with their character, add 1 affection no matter what the prompt says.
Oh, okay.
You would still take any plot or suspicion changes prompted by the plot, by the ploy, but allow this rule to cancel out or offset any affection losses. So, like, if we are role playing something and the other person does something that you're like, oh, damn, that was great, to add in an extra affection. Okay, here we go. So Oh no. All right. Also, any face cards trigger something called a marital trial, which is when people are officially like questioning stuff.
Okay.
Okay. So, mechanics of the game are pretty simple. We draw a card.
Mm-hmm.
I have whole big section of card prompts. I will look at it uh, and and reach down to figure out what it is, and then we will role play that. Some of them have things that affect one of our pools, and
Mm-hmm.
once that is done, we continue on. So here we go. I think we have maybe arrived at this ball. I think that we spent what, like, I think we're out of money
Yeah.
fully. Like, I think that we spent the very last of it to, like, make sure that we had properly ostentatious clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think Cassandra's pretty good at, like, maybe sewing herself. So I think that, like, she was able to sort of put something together, like get a base thing and then like add on custom pieces to make it look a little bit more fancy. And could probably have done the same thing for you. I think we probably nicked some jewelry along the way.
Yeah.
Um, uh, in this society, are there wedding rings or is there some other thing that symbolizes?
Sure, they can be rings.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think we also stole those.
Naturally.
Um, I think she told you she stole them.
Okay.
I think they are probably her parents.
Are you a thief? Like do I know you to steal things?
I think I don't think she views herself as a thief because I think, to quote Sophie Devereaux, if she does her job right, people just hand her things.
Mm.
Um, I
Mm-hmm.
think that she talks her way in and out of a lot of problems. And I think that technically she's stealing a bunch of stuff. But in a court of law, she could be like, well, they just gave it to me. It was a gift. Like I did.
Great.
But I think these rings, I think are like maybe the last bit that she has left of her parents. But like I think it's a maybe that's her line. Like
Mm.
she won't steal somebody's wedding rings. That's too important.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But she told you that she did.
Okay. I think I've probably gotten the suit that I have, at least the suit that you embellished.
Yeah.
I think I got it from a tailor on loan effectively, like maybe talked his way into like advertising
In
sort
like
of.
the last town, maybe. like,
Yeah, yeah, and then we just bounced.
and then we just left.
Yeah,
Cool. Great. I love that. Like, oh yeah, it's gonna be great. We're
it's gonna
just
be
gonna
really
sell
good.
this.
Give me a big stack of your business cards. I'm gonna hand them out to everybody that
Yeah,
I
it's gonna
see.
be so
Everybody's gonna know
wonderful.
where to go, and then you throw those in the garbage and you leave.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Um, great. Okay. So I think maybe I would love for us to start maybe like in the line heading
Mm,
up to get into this ball. How do you feel about that?
feel good about it.
No, well, we already have a marital trial.
Boy, all right. Bunch of chatty people in line.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that you get stuck there quite a bit. Okay, how marital trials work. I drew the Queen of Spades. Um, So now okay, we need to roll a d12.
Thought we only needed a D8.
I know. Well, we could
I have a
draw the
12 also.
cards. You have a 12? Roll me that
I
12.
do. A 6.
A 6. Bum. Number 6 is called, Oh no, my gown.
Great.
Someone's trodden on the train of your dress or spilled champagne all down your jacket front or severely jostled your wig. Luckily, this is firmly in the realm of problems to be solved by your devoted spouse. Each partner should roll a d8, and the one with the lower roll is the one impacted by the wardrobe malfunction, and the one with the higher roll has to fix it. If you roll doubles, you're somehow in this mess together. Tangled jewelry, a double wide appetizer splatter, something. All right, so let's roll and see what we've got.
What? I got an 8.
I got a 6.
Okay.
Okay, so I have been, I think, in this line as we're waiting to get in. Perhaps the people behind us are maybe a little bit too excited. And they have stepped on the hem of my gown and like kind of jostled me about. I feel like maybe this could even have been a thing that we orchestrated
Oh, I like that.
to
Yeah.
like for a pickpockety
hmm
situation.
hmm
Okay. Um so okay. We I think I'm just gonna. Oh no! I've you stepped on my, pulled me down a little bit, and I'm gonna like almost flop to the ground at their feet.
I will catch you before
Mm,
you hit the ground. I feel like this is probably a thing that we've practiced a little
yes,
bit, and
yes.
we can't have the rest of your outfit getting dirty
It's the only
before we
one I've
even.
got.
It's the only one you've got, and we
Yep,
haven't even made it inside yet.
yep.
Um, but I think the people behind us are kind of uh, dripping in some extra
Jewels
jewels
and
and
things. Yeah.
stuff. Like definitely, like I think it's probably easy for us to spot marks that are more concerned with quantity rather than individual showpieces, which means they are
Yeah.
less
To
likely to notice things are gone.
correct.
Um, and so I think I will catch you as you fall and turn to the people behind you. Um, and I will say, you are far too close to a lady. Back up, please.
What do you take?
Um, I'm lift you up,
Hmm.
stand you back up again, and then yeah, I'll put my hand kind of um on the surcoat that the guy's got, and I
Yeah.
will like there's a lapel pin that I'm
Hmm.
gonna
Just
snatch off.
great.
Yeah.
Um, because we rolled a 6 and an 8, that adds up to 14. Fingers brush one too many times between layers of lace. A curl of hair is caressed away from your forehead.
Oh no,
When you caught
we're
me,
in love.
it takes a little firm pressure to slip your shoe back onto your foot. Um, which part of your outfit is your spouse now going to be thinking about all night?
Oh, all right. Well, probably based on how I caught you, I think it's likely um like your stomach, the front of your stomach.
Like
Like the
the
corset
corsety
area.
bits.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's +3 affection.
Oh.
Gets better because it is also -1 plot. But we don't have anything in plot right now. And minus negative plot becomes affection. So we're at
We're not
four
even, we're
affection.
not gonna make
We're
it
not even
inside.
inside.
Okay,
Four
great,
affection.
cool. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We've
This
done
lets
it.
me know that there's just been a lot of tension between the two of us,
Between
and we don't
just like
touch
starting it.
very often.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's probably true. I bet they
yeah.
even, unless it is absolutely necessary, I bet they like sleep in separate rooms and all of that
Hmm.
stuff. So like this is like a bubbling up. Hey, I'm gonna
I
draw the
think
next card.
I think what I'll do to just kind of like end that scene a little bit is as I'm checking you over to make sure that you are okay and that you
Hmm.
are not hurt or
Yeah.
anything like that, is I'm going to slide the brooch that I have stolen into like a secluded portion of your dress. I
Oh, I
think if you
have
are,
so many pockets.
yeah, I think if you're sewing a bunch of things, you've got those like lined up and ready, so I don't have to hold anything. I'll just
Absolutely.
hide it on you.
My skirt is voluminous and
Mhm.
it hides many secrets.
I'll tuck it just where your corset meets
Meats.
your skirt. Yeah.
Sure. Great. Love that. I'm sure that won't be a problem. Oh my
No,
God.
it'll be fine.
Okay, so it's another face card. Marital trial.
Still not in yet.
Still not inside. I think we've moved forward.
Okay,
Maybe
great.
let's say we're at the
At
door
the,
now. The
yeah,
like announcement place. Okay, well, we have to roll again because I got a
another
jack.
another 12,
Another eight.
another 8 for this
Oh,
one. Okay.
wait. Nope. Another 12 to figure out.
Okay, I got you.
Okay.
A 5 this time. Oh no.
I love this. Number 5 is called Your Ex is Here, which means they probably know you by a different name.
Oh no. Okay.
Okay. Okay. And it says, God effing damn it. Both partners roll a d8, and the one with the lower roll just saw their ex walk in. So perhaps we are just inside now, like
Mhm.
just entered. All right, let's find out.
I I
If we
would like to
roll,
say oh, I was gonna say if we roll a tie.
there's a mechanic for that, and it's we both dated them.
Okay, I was gonna say it's the same X for both of us.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah,
is
great. I
absolutely
love
it.
it. I
All
love
right,
it.
here we go. Let's roll.
I rolled another 8.
Okay, I rolled a 1.
Okay.
Okay, which means that roll a d. The one with the lower roll just saw their ex walk in. It's me.
Okay. Your X.
Um, why aren't you together anymore? Why the hell are they walking over here? um,
Oh no.
okay, listen. I think that it was a person that I dated quite a long time ago as this person, like as this persona, as Cassandra,
As Cassandra.
as
Okay.
Cassandra. And I think the con ran out.
Hmm.
And I don't think that it was necessarily like I think she didn't get anything out of him, which is why she moved on. So it's not like
Hmm.
she fleeced him for everything that he had and then she left. Like I think she didn't get anything out of him. I think that was the problem.
Was he a bad mark? Like, did you just choose somebody who didn't have anything, or did he figure you out?
I think that I honestly
Or is
think
he just too stingy with his
I think he was just like really boring. Like I think he
Hmm.
was just like when she got in there, she was like, "Oh, there's just like not as many things here to take as I thought," kind of a
Hmm.
thing.
Hmm.
I think she got a couple of nice meals out of him, um, and then she was so like just bored out of her skull, and she just left. Um, uh, okay, well, I think he comes over, and I think there's a polite exchange. I think it's probably even helpful for her because he confirms her identity.
Hmm.
Um, Cassandra, you're looking well, kind of a thing. Thank you so much. Have you met my husband, um, Viscount Rutherford? the two of you have a little exchange, and
Mhm.
because you rolled an 8, you said
I did.
8 and 1 is 9. No fuss, no muss. You're so normal. You're very, very normal about it. So normal that everyone gets a little bored, and the ravenous crowd that had gathered in hopes of seeing some kind of absolute meltdown disperses. How does this extremely normal interaction change how you feel about your ex? Are you now thinking about the inevitable end of your marriage once this plan has run its course? Um, yeah, I think I feel a little sorry for him. Like he's still alone. He's still the same dude, and like in a very trusting way, anybody who would pick up a con artist,
Hmm.
I think he's just like, oh, no, poor buddy. Like still doing it. Um,
Yeah.
and I think I think it definitely makes her think about the fact that like it reminds her, especially after that brush with extra burst of affection, like this is temporary. We are not
Hmm.
a long-term situation. We are gonna
Hmm.
con these people and then we're gonna go our separate ways. Um, it's cleaner that way, kind of a thing, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, which means that it is +2 plot
Okay.
and then -1 suspicion. A negative suspicion becomes plot. So we currently have 4 in affection and 3 in plot. Things are going.
Yeah. So
Um,
going up quickly.
yeah. So maybe we're moving along. We are now entered.
Hmm.
We have a 5 of diamonds. Let's see what happens with the 5 of diamonds. Beep, 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 beep. Oh no. You commit a terrible faux pas. What was it? Why didn't you know any better? And how does your spouse try to draw attention away? Um, it doesn't tell us to, but I feel like maybe we roll to see who was the one that committed the faux pas. So
Okay.
higher, lower, lower,
Lower
lower committed it.
committed. Yeah.
Okay, I rolled a 2.
Okay. You committed it. I
I
got
did it.
a 7.
I did
Yeah.
it. Uh, okay. I think I took something to eat before the men.
Mm.
Um, and I think maybe I didn't know any better because I'm not often in this situation. I
Yeah.
think I think it's just like, well, there's food out. You eat when people are eating. I eat. Just gonna eat. Um, so I think I took like a sweet or a finger sandwich or something.
Hmm.
Um, so what do you do to draw attention away?
I think um I think that I would go up and I would pick up one of the same things that you picked up. And I would say, I love how you remembered the things that we ate on our first date together.
Oh,
I
oh
couldn't
no.
stop myself from eating one either. And then we would like cheers the
Cheers
food
them.
as if
Hmm?
it cheers them a little bit,
Yeah, yep.
and then I would eat one.
Okay, so we add 1 to suspicion. But I think that was really sweet. I think she probably affection.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So 5 in affection.
Whoops.
Just running headlong towards our. All right. Next card is the 4 of spades. Here we go. Uh-oh. Think about the last time you lied or did something dishonest. Blurt it out to your spouse. How is it
Oh,
any different from what the two of you are doing now? I'm going to have us roll again. The lower one is the blurter, I think.
okay.
Okay, haha. The time I rolled an 8.
5. Okay. So I am the blurter this time.
We're the blurter.
Um, this is interesting because I feel like we have just done a lot of dishonest things to get to this point. So I'm
Correct.
trying to think if there's one that perhaps you did not know about.
Mm.
And maybe I think it's the suit. Um,
Oh.
so like I will conversation is happening.
Mhm.
And I think the two of us are talking with just each other.
Maybe
Um,
she is like adjusting
mhm,
suit stuff, like
mhm.
just giving you a
Um,
little primp.
post sandwich, might be a little crumb or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I will say that I'm glad that I was able to steal something that would look good next to whatever you were wearing.
What do you mean? I thought you already had that suit. What did you
Oh,
steal?
yeah, no, no, no. Just in the last town, I thought that we might need something that looked nice someday, so I took it.
Why would you have hidden that from me? We steal stuff all the time.
It's just a little fancier than what we usually wear
Mm,
to things. And I thought we might have an occasion someday.
okay. Tell me, out of out of character, why you would have hidden that.
Because I think that he took it thinking that if you're gonna get actual married,
Oh,
looking nice is important.
interesting.
And
Okay.
so I think prior to even having this whole heist planned out, he was like, I should maybe have a nice suit just in case.
Just in case. Um, does that mean you would like me to add one to affection?
Is it me that gets to choose that?
Yeah. Well, because this is something that you did not tell her, so it would be you.
Okay. Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I think so. I think at some point, probably in line, I decided um, that he is infatuated for sure.
Barely anything happening yet. Okay, we're gonna be great. Everything's great.
It's gonna be fine.
8 of spades. Beep, beep, beep. Reveal something about yourself that will surprise your spouse. Something completely at odds with your public facing persona. Okay, let's do the roll to see who reveals.
Okay.
I rolled a 6.
And rolled a 1.
It's you.
It's
You
me.
are you are revealing something that will surprise me. Something completely at odds with your public facing persona.
Um, I think we're having a conversation about um I think it's a coded conversation about the thing we are here to get, about the land deeds and the titles and things like that.
Okay.
Um, and woven into this conversation, he just kind of like takes a bit of a left turn and starts talking about ways that that land will need to be taxed. And over the course of that brief chat, you realize that he's got kind of a decent knowledge of how to be legitimate and to hold
Oh,
on to something correctly. Um, but to your knowledge, has not done that
not done
before.
that. Yeah.
But definitely knows what
Like,
needs to go into it. Not in a like I've done my research kind of way, but in a like here's just how like owning stuff works.
here's how it is.
Yeah.
Um, okay, weird. Um, great. Uh, so nothing, there's no mechanical things happening there, but I think that will inform some stuff. I think she is
Mhm.
a touch confused for a moment of like, oh,
Mhm.
all right, great. I think maybe because perhaps you have always sort of deferred to me and in that situation,
Mhm.
and she's maybe realizing that you've been hiding some stuff from her.
Mhm.
Not enough for her to be like, well, now I'm suspicious of you, but like some recalculating happening.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Five of Hearts. Your spouse does something that flusters you. What is it, and why are you reacting like a giddy, infatuated school child when you're supposed to be married already? So let's roll to see who is the lower and gets flustered. Well, I rolled a one.
Oh, I rolled a 7.
Okay.
So
It is
you are
me.
quite flustered.
Um, what? Okay, here's what I think happens. Um, I think that while we are having a conversation with another couple,
Mhm.
I think you sort of, without thinking, like we're supposed to be married and we're supposed to be doing all this stuff. I think you maybe reach down and like take my hand. And then I'm like, huh, what? What is that? That's weird. Um, and I think it's because you've never done that before.
Mhm.
This is like not a we don't touch very often because we're not usually in public facing situations together, I think.
Mhm.
Um, so we got all of the stuff down, all of the thoughts and everything, but then like now it comes to action and like I think she's a little just a little flustered, which is +1 affection. Puts
That
us
six,
at 7
7? Oh,
and
all right.
+1 suspicion because they're like, why has it been married? Why are you?
Mhm. They just don't have a very affectionate marriage. That's
Well,
okay.
I have a king, so it's a marital trial.
Okay.
Marital trial. Here we go. Um, so I need you to roll me that 12 to see
Okay.
what, and we wouldn't
Another,
go ahead.
go ahead.
I would say we're not redoing any of the ones, you know. So like
11.
if you had rolled a 6 or a 5, like we would
Yeah.
re-roll. 11. Beep, beep, beep. What happens in court stays in court.
Hey.
It is time for some good old fashioned party games.
Oh no.
Choose a variety of game that would generally be played at festivities like the ones your characters are attending, like drinking games, gambling over cards, garden croquet. Either way, determine if it is just for fun or if you're betting money on it. What do you think?
Um, is it both of us playing or
Yes, it
is
will
that
be
a thing that okay,
both of
both of
us
us.
playing.
I think that the most reckless choice, so clearly the one that I would like to pick,
Is it the
would
drinking
be
game?
no, is cards.
Cards and
Because I think
betting for money.
and betting for money because I think you and I feed each other information when we are
Oh,
at a card table together.
very smart.
Um, Yeah. And it lets us make a joke about how um, if your abilities come up, we can like
Mm,
make a joke about how, that's not how it works, blah 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 or whatever.
yeah.
Um,
Okay, so are we playing for money or are we playing for fun?
I always want to play for money.
Let's play for money. Okay, here we go. So we're each going to roll a d8 and we're going to add them together. And that's going to tell us how well we did. Oh no. Okay, well, I rolled a 1.
I rolled a 1.
You also rolled a 1. Okay.
This is
Boo.
probably fine, right? Oh no.
Boo,
They're
this is the
booing us.
pits. You're not winning and you're not having fun. So in the end, this feels like a waste of time. And your fellow guests have noticed you don't seem to be enjoying each other's company. What excuses do you make for your terrible efforts? I mean, I think I can say I had to not use my gift.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so it's always a problem for me when I try to do this because other people think it's unfair. And so I try not to use it. And then that means I know what I should be playing, but then I can't. And then we lose because otherwise people get upset with me. And like,
Hmm.
yeah.
I
Okay.
think I can just claim that I think with each of us rolling a 1, I think I can claim to being born without luck
Mm,
pretty convincingly in this case.
okay. So here's the deal. It is -4 plot. We had 3 in there. 3
Okay.
goes away. And then negative plot becomes affection. So so the 1 goes over to our affection. One,
I
two,
think you
three,
and
four,
I
five,
just
6, 7, 8.
have an enjoyable time watching ourselves be so bad at cards
Yeah. I
that
think
it's
there
sort of a bonding moment.
I think there's a moment where like we're like really annoyed with everything and then we kind of like hop off to the side and end up in a private moment just like really laughing at the fact that like I mean, we owe people a bunch of money now. Like this is
Oh, we won't be
I
here
mean,
much
whatever.
longer.
We'll yeah,
So,
we're gonna be able to leave. We're gonna be able to leave. Um that that's very funny. All right. 2 of hearts. Pick something about your spouse's appearance and mention it without thinking. Let's roll to see who's the mentioner. I rolled a 6.
rolled a 5.
It
I am
is
the
you
mentioner.
are the mentioner.
Okay. Um,
The dice really want you to be wildly infatuated with me.
just so much. Just so
And I
much.
just keep messing everything up. So
Um, I think that I will, in our little side conversation where we are joking about losing at cards so poorly, I think that I will mention, if you had done a worse job in making those gloves, I would have been able to focus on what I was doing.
um yeah, I mean, I feel like it's getting close to triggering the end game, but like you had also grabbed my hand earlier, and so I feel like mentioning the gloves
Oh, I
and all of
know.
the things.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't say, but it makes sense to add an affection to that from her end. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 affection. I need you to know that we have 9 affection and 0 plot right now. We have no plot. We are not
Mhm.
furthering our plans, and there's still 2 suspicion out there.
All right.
Oh my god.
Great.
All right, here we go. 6 of diamonds. What new social circles has the marriage opened up? What kind of spaces would you have never moved through if you
Hmm.
hadn't met them? And I think it's literally all of this.
Yeah. I think it did take both of us to be able to get in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the capacity that we wanted to be here.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, there's nothing mechanical. That was just like
Mhm.
us maybe
Talking about it.
talking about it
Yeah.
and realizing it and like, hey, like,
Teamwork.
thanks.
Yeah.
I'm excited for like what comes next, basically.
Me too. Yeah.
3 of clubs, which I always have to struggle to find the word because it's puppy feet, and that's how I've known it forever. And
What?
3 of clubs. Your spouse has a nickname that almost everyone close to them uses, but you are baffled the first time you hear it in conversation. What is it? Why didn't they tell you? So this could be a suspicion or an affection, depending on how it is received by the other person. So let's roll and see who the nickname is. Who has the
Okay.
nickname? I got a 2.
I got a 4.
Okay, so it's my nickname, which makes
Your
sense.
nickname.
We've already run into my ex.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that is probably something. Um, okay, I think that he greeted me as he made mention of blah 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 little mouse, which I think is
Mm.
what the nickname is. Um, so it says almost everyone close to them, but I think that this is a specific
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
this ex. Um, and I think it is because she like makes little like squeaky noises when she sleeps. Like she makes little like
Oh.
little tiny like talking in her sleep kind of murmurs, but they're like so he just like used to complain that or used to tease her about it because like it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's like sleeping next to a little mouse, which also lets out that that she slept next to him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, which I think is why I think she's just like horribly embarrassed by it. I think that is a thing that she is like, oh no, like I don't like that, which is why she didn't tell you. So I guess like, is that a thing that makes you kind of laugh and giggle, or is that something that you are upset about?
I don't think I would be upset about it, honestly. Um, I don't want to end the game already by like dumping into affection, but I think here we are, maybe. Like I would
Yeah.
not, yeah, I would not be upset about that. I don't think he is a precious individual, like
Because
over the thought of you having prior partners or anything
we're
like
not
that.
even
And
technically partners at this moment. Like,
correct, yeah.
not that
But
kind of
it
partner. Yeah.
but it does make him think of sleeping next to you and that as a concept and all of these things and probably thinks that like little sleep noises and stuff is pretty adorable.
So you're kind of like, oh,
Yeah. But I can see why you didn't tell me, like
yeah.
I'm not upset about that. I don't feel betrayed or anything like that. So, um
That puts a 10 in
I know.
affection. All right. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that it has ended the game, but
Okay.
affection has reached its boiling point.
Critical mass.
Okay, here we go. When you reach 10 of any token, you have reached a boiling point. Whatever's been brewing, whether it's your own plans, the rumors and speculation of high society, or your feelings for each other, it's coming to a head and it needs to be addressed now for better or worse. So now we are looking for us to each roll, and it's going to be the difference between the numbers.
Okay.
Um, or doubles. has a specific thing, or if it is a roll of a 1 and an 8, there's also a specific thing that happens.
Okay.
So I think perhaps to start this, before we figure out what it is, I think I am trying to divert your attention away from the little mouse situation. Just like, why don't we just go for a walk over here in the garden and not talk about this anymore? Please and thank you. All right, here we go. I rolled a 4.
I got a 1.
Okay.
I got very nervous in case you were going to roll an 8.
Okay. Well, okay. Difference of 1 to 3, because I rolled a 4 and you rolled 1. That's a difference of 3. The end.
Oh.
Your attraction can no longer be denied. You have to do something about it one way or another. Consider your other token counts. If plot and suspicion are low, which they are, 0 in
quite
plot,
low,
2 in suspicion. Do you throw all of it away and just continue as things are? If both are high, does this give you the burst of passion you need to get the job done? Like, I think, are we just like, maybe this could be a thing. Like,
yeah. I'm sort of feeling like, if there was anything in plot, I might think a little differently, but there is not. So it is clear that we came here, immediately fell in love, and we're like nuts to everything else that we're doing. I don't even know that we have to stay at the party, honestly.
No, I mean, here is
there's
what
no
I
plot
think.
there already. Like,
what I think we do, I think we do a round on the floor and just steal stuff from everybody and then leave.
Yeah. Just like do a quick get us to the next town and then we go.
I feel like with this, like, obviously in love, like, I think we just like, that's the only part of the relationship that changes, is that like, all right, well, we'll get married for real then, and then continue to do this thieving stuff across the country.
We just need to pause and just figure out what this is,
right?
So we can work it into whatever else.
We have stolen enough stuff, right? Like, we've just taken enough stuff that we can like fund things for a while and then move on.
I can't believe we just immediately just only affection straight to the top.
Yeah, and I mean, it was all card stuff. Like, like we added a couple in when we didn't necessarily need to. But I think that was only like twice.
Yeah, and that rule was very big and bold.
Yeah, they made a big choice of like, hey, make sure. Yeah. So anyway, if we had done doubles on that roll, it would have also been the end, but like, you can no longer maintain restraint. And so it says, do you embrace in the middle of the gathering in a silent confession? Do you pull them away to the gardens and get down on one knee for real this time? Your shared plot doesn't matter anymore, and neither does keeping up a front of any kind for the rest of society.
Like, what if we had done a 1 and an 8?
You both realize how ridiculous this is. You were both suddenly terrified, or you both fall into an argument that shatters whatever illusion you'd been foolishly stumbling into. Whatever it is, you've been cured of this distraction. Describe your explosive awakening. You remove 7 affection tokens, add 3 plot tokens, and keep your eyes on the prize and return to play.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So like,
this is a very fun, like, kind of choose your own adventure situation. There's a lot of like, turn to page 46,
Yeah. Well, and if you have 2 folk, two sets of people, there's a lot of times that the suspicion and stuff would be coming from the other the other couple.
So you're play at odds with the other couple?
You're sort of running, which I think could be really interesting. I'm interested to see how that would work. but it also says, um, like that can get up to much bigger. Like
Hmm.
everything could take much longer because you have to keep playing until both couples reach a boiling point. So like, this was about an hour and a half. That
Yeah.
wasn't like I think I think this is interesting and I like it. I think it's cool. I would be interested in playing it again just with the second person just to see how because we got like no plot stuff. Like everything we
None.
drew was affection. And so I'm interested to see because I was looking at all of the things and there's so many things that are like -1 plot, +1 plot, +2 suspicion. Like there's a lot of stuff in here. It just did because of how our collective roles happened.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, I like this. Um, we didn't roll it, but one of the marital trials is called Travel Album. And if you roll a certain thing together, um, you're caught entirely off guard and you have to count to 3 on your fingers. And each time you and your spouse have to simultaneously say a location and then how long you were there and what you spent the most time doing together. And each time it doesn't match, you get +2 suspicion. So like somebody was talking to you and
Yeah.
you both went to answer. And if you answer a different thing, each time you answer a different thing,
Wow.
that adds suspicion. That could bump you
That
right
would be a
over
lot.
on
That
suspicion.
would be a
So
lot.
that's up to 6 suspicion just in that one
Yeah.
section. I love it. Um, all right. Well, let's do moments of gratitude.
Hmm.
What are we thinking? How did we feel?
I mean, this game was, I can see so many different ways that this game can go.
Yeah,
And so
absolutely.
many different like angles and plot paths and all of these things that could happen. And I appreciate that we each just decided that affection was the way to go and like were very like true to that when it came
Yeah,
up, with that adding the extra, even though we knew we were like,
it's
we're just gonna
gonna
bust the game. Like this is
yeah,
just what
yeah.
it is,
Well,
but
but
the
also
moments that it
like
happened worked.
and we like built on all of that stuff, like it
Hmm.
was the hand thing and then you were like, okay, well then the glove, let's do the glove. Like
Yeah.
I think it flowed narratively in a really good
Hmm.
way because we were yes anding each other, which I appreciate. We do
Yeah.
that. Um, really interested to see what it would be like to do one where we have decided from the start that we just like
Hate each other.
hate each other. And it needs to be like whether it's because we are partners and have gotten into a fight, like not romantic partners, but
Hmm.
like we just disagreed on a thing to do it and we came into this one like just pissed off. Like I think
Yeah.
that's an interesting one too. Um cool. All right. Well, we uh we just got back from Gen Con.
We did. Yeah.
What happened at Gen Con? Did you have anything cool that happened there? For those at
Um,
home who don't know, Damon and I created a game together called The Crowned. You may have heard me mention it before. Damon is
it's
pointing
that
at it
right
right now.
there.
There it is. And we were just at Gen Con again. You're watching Gen Con TV. You probably know what that is, but just in case, it's a pretty big gaming convention taking
Hmm.
place in Indianapolis. I think there was like 74,000 this year. Is that right?
I have not heard final numbers on that, but
I don't know. I
a
think it was
lot. It was a
around
lot.
75,000 people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I think my favorite thing that is sort of Gen Con adjacent is that I did not get sick.
yeah.
Which is good.
Same. High
Yeah.
five.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Um, but I had a really good time. I always love going to Gen Con. It is a lot of fun. I actually got to spend some time in the exhibitor hall, like shopping. I usually
Yeah.
don't do much of that, but I think I like really kind of took my time over the days that we were there and looked around, saw a lot of things, bought some dice. The dice that I was rolling with tonight, I got at Gen Con. And picked up some games that won Ennies and things. It's just I love getting to just see the games that win awards and then go around and look at all of those. I look at the other games too, obviously, but
Sure.
it's nice having the Ennies during Gen Con because you can see
Yeah.
all the nominees because those all come out and then you can look at those and then pick up some winners if you want or other nominees that are good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think the Ennies had a booth this year where they
they
had
did.
all of the, was it all
Mhm.
just all the winners that they
It
had?
was
I
all the
can't remember.
nominees. They
All the
had all
nominees.
the nominees. Yeah.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. I had a really I had a good time. It was very loud there. This was the first convention
Mhm.
that I did with my hearing aids. And I discovered some fun and interesting challenges with those. But one of them is that now I can hear everything. Oh boy. A lot of 75,000 people make a lot of noise, as it turns out.
Mhm.
Um, but also I discovered that they create wicked feedback if you are on stage and there is a monitor pointed at you. And I was like sitting there getting ready for Sarah's Table Live. I was like, here we go. And I had everything set up and they turned the monitor on and my ears just started squealing. And I was like, oh, what's that? I had to turn the monitor off. Luckily, we were all close enough together that we could chat. But I actually, it was very funny. I mentioned it to my audiologist. I was like, hey, is there something I can do? Can I adjust something? Is there because they're bionic ears, and so they're controlled by an app that's on my phone, so I can adjust things and do different modes and stuff. And she was like, hey, I want to be real honest with you. I've never had this problem before, and it's because most of the patients that I treat are not on stage in front of other microphones. And I was like,
Mhm.
that's fair. Okay. um so yeah, we just discovering new things about ourselves every day.
That Sarah's Table Live was really good,
Oh, thank you
by
so
the
much.
way.
I
By the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was really, really proud of it. I really like it. I can show off my little story of running into Grant Howitt. I ran into Grant on Wednesday before Gen Con started, and Sarah's table during Gen Con was Retrograde, which is a one-page RPG that is supposed to be just that. And you're supposed to run it in about hour and a half to 2 hours, and then you're supposed to walk away from it. And I have turned it into a campaign, which is bananas. And I've really broken the game. I've there's so many things scrawled all over it in different colors. And I went up to introduce myself to Grant, assumed he wouldn't remember me, and I said, "Hey, I don't know if you remember me. I'm Sarah Moore from Sarah's Table." And he was like, "Of course I remember you." And then he turned to the person who he was with and he said, "Sarah is running Retrograde as a campaign." And that person said, "How?" And it was a very rewarding moment for me. I was like, I don't know, man. I'm just doing it.
Yeah, it was good. I haven't watched any of the other episodes of this campaign, so I
mm,
just like got dropped in to only that one for Retrograde, and it was so good and compelling. Like got really good players for it, and
yeah.
yeah, you're running a really good game.
What is were there any references? I'm just gonna pick your brain because we have a couple
Yeah,
minutes. Having not seen the other ones, were you lost ever in what
no,
was happening?
no,
Great.
not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
I knew the concept of retrograde, and I knew that like because the players wake up with no memories and then they, explore their surroundings to figure out clues about themselves. That's like basically what retrograde is.
Correct.
And and it uh that is still what happened. Like that felt like a thing that I could watch nothing before and nothing after. And
Hmm.
like for me, that story is completed and contained with the way that you had. I mean, there's a lot of questions that I have. I want to see more,
Sure.
but you are looping them in such a way that like it felt like a self-contained one shot, even though that
Cool.
it isn't, which I
Yeah.
think is like a hard, in retrospect, feels like a really hard thing to accomplish. So I am curious to like check out if the other episodes play that way as well.
Yeah.
But I could just like never watch anymore and feel like that was just a great story, and a
Cool.
great job of that. And it I know there is more and that's great and I'm gonna watch it now, but like I was able to just drop in without really knowing anything that was going on, and it was awesome.
Yeah, it was the seventh episode. And I, on a whim, really, mentioned that their contract was for 13 shows.
Mhm.
Um, and we got out afterwards and both players were like, so there's six more then. Are we, that was seven? We're gonna do like call us in, let us know. We're doing it. And I was like, I mean, this could be a situation where between now and next Gen Con, I could do
Mhm.
the big finale next Gen Con live. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, that would be fun because
Yeah.
those folks are both at Gen Con
Yeah.
each year.
And
So
they're great.
yeah.
Those folks, by the way, are Patrick Keefe, who is that gray gentleman, and Beck Godsey, who is Caustic Phoenix. And they are extremely patient with me when I'm like, this is it. This is probably the last one. And then at the end, I throw in a little hook, and then they're like, they're not, it's not the last one. It can't be the last one. And I'm like, all right. You're right. Let's do it. Um, so yeah, I'm super excited about that. Okay, but hey, man, why don't you tell me who you are and where we can find you in the internet and what you got coming
Okay.
up?
All right. Well, my name is Damon. It has been Damon the whole time.
Uh-oh.
And yep. And you can find me on the internet at Damon Vanhee in most places. And then also, if you are interested in this game back here that Sarah and I made
I
together
don't
called
I
The
don't
Crown.
have one, but I'll also
Yeah.
point at the disco ball.
It's much bigger in real life. That bookcase is not
It's
particularly close to my
it's not a little
little
baby.
goes on your keychain. But you can go to formerlyferalgames.com and you can check out that book and all of the socials for the game. And then I've got this game going on. That is a thing that I spend a lot of time doing. I am in fact going to also be on Gen Con TV on Table Takes this week doing oh no, that already
It
happened.
already
Oh
happened.
man, pre-recorded versus live. A couple of days ago, I ran a really great version of this
It was so
on Table Takes
good.
Live. I hope you all watched it and really enjoyed it.
Super compelling.
I had a great time doing it,
You sure
and what a
did.
twist.
Wow.
Astounding.
I would have never believed
Um,
it.
like Oscar-worthy performances by especially me. Um, and then I'm also going to be doing some Burning Wheel on Gen Con TV coming up in a week. So that'll, or depending on how time works, some amount of days, four
Yeah.
days. I don't know. I have no idea.
It's
The
on Wednesday.
21st, whatever the 21st is for you who is watching this. Um, Gonna be
Hey,
playing some Burning Wheel.
you
I'm doing
really
great.
nailed this. This is
That's
good.
so good. Just a real tight elevator pitch about everything that I'm doing. Type 5. Um, that's me. That's all I've got. Your turn, Sarah. What are you
Okay.
doing? Who are
Hi.
you?
Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah Moore. You can find me all over the internet at Pixies and Pins. My website is pixiesandpins.com. You can find me here every Friday night on Sarah's Table on Gen Con TV at 5 p.m. Pacific. And next week, we are playing a game called Numbskulls, where you are pretty ineffective skeletons trying to do a very mundane task for your necromancer. And then the following week, we're going to be running a game of Goblins with a Fat Ass, which is exactly what you think it is. Whatever you think it is, it's that. I'm real excited about that. And then, you know, we're hoping to get some more Crowned on here. I have an arc that we're hoping to wrap up. I'm going to try to get some more Vanishing Lands on here, which, by the way, if you want that, you should go to vanishinglands.com and you should buy it. It's for sale. And then hopefully I'm going to be at PAX Australia in October. We're gonna go promote some stuff, and it's gonna be a treat. But that is my big goal. Eyes on the prize. Getting ourselves to Australia. We're gonna probably not rob the convention or fall in love in the process. Unclear.
For legal reasons, we have to say probably.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Anyway, thank you for coming on and doing this delightful game with me. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you for having me.
It was really fun. Thank you to Ira Prince Vals for creating this game. It was a treat. Thank you to my partner, Jeff, for putting this together and doing all of my personal tech and everything. You rock, my man. Thank you to the Gen Con team and Peter Atkinson for allowing me to have this platform and do ridiculous things like Eyes on the Prize and Goblins with a Fat Ass. Who else gets to do that as a job? This one right here. Thank you to Marcus Mays, who is our tech at Gen Con TV, who keeps us running smoothly. Thank you to everybody at home who definitely is keeping up on their water intake, because I wouldn't want you to be dehydrated. And just gonna do it one more time, just all together. Good job, everybody. Really proud of you. It is super cool. If you are a game designer and you are interested in getting your game here on this show, message me at Pixies and Pins on all of the platforms. Yeah. So, as always, keep making art and keep being art. And we'll see you next time.